know where to start, really. It's all going horrendously wrong. It really is. Everything is going wrong for me at the moment, and I'm getting really fed up now. Oh, for example, those of you watching the show on the YouTube, and interestingly now, I've been having a look at little numbers, and there's actually more people now watching the show via YouTube, Blip, Current, and Google than actually listen to the show. Isn't that strange? You wouldn't have thought I had the looks to be looked at, would you? But apparently, it seems to be the case. So, anyway, I say that because I'm very disappointed that I haven't been able to get it together with the decorating, right? Now, I now have a date. Not a date as in going out with someone. Although I live in hope. No, I now have a date for decorating to start. I received a little leaflet in the post. That's actually not a leaflet. To be honest, that isn't the leaflet. What that is just a random piece of paper I've picked up from the desk so that it sounds like a leaflet. But it's not the actual leaflet I'm about to talk about. This is just a random piece of paper. Well, actually, it's not even a piece of paper. It's a CD case. And I thought I'll have the sound effect of a leaflet, and it'll make it sound more, it'll make it sound like it's actually here. But then I forgot that the camera's on, and some of you can see it anyway. So you know it's not a leaflet. So I don't know why I bother. Okay, I got this leaflet in the door. Handyman does all this business and so forth. One of the things was decorating. It says he charges £20 for half an hour with a minimum rate of 1 hour, so £40 an hour. And then at the bottom it says discounts for half days and full days. I thought, here we go. You're talking my language. Discounts, yes. We're talking discounts, right? So I waited, as I told you in the last show or two, another couple of days for this other one to ring, but he didn't. So I thought, right, move on. And bloke answered the phone. Or no, his wife answered. A lady answered the phone. This is the one in the leaflet, which that bit of paper wasn't. I told you that already. So I rang up the number and a lady answered. Oh, hello, I got your leaflet in the post about decorating. Oh, just a minute, I'll go and get my husband. She sounded a very nice lady. So this bloke comes on the phone. His name is Mick. And he lives just a couple of roads down from me here in Bracknell, which I'm very pleased about. What's it called? Pendlebury or something like that? Which is just literally a couple of... I mean, I could walk to his house in 4 minutes. Put it that way. So isn't that funny how close he is? But there we are. So his name's Mick. He says, oh, yeah. And I rang him, I think it was on my night off, about 6 o'clock I gave him a ring. He said, OK. He says, I'll come round and give you a quote. He said, are you in tonight? I said, yeah. He said, right, well, I'm just having my dinner at the moment. He said, if you like, I'll pop round after that. Be about quarter to 8. I said, yeah, that's fine. I said, don't rush round. I'm in all night. You know, finish your dinner and pop round whenever you're ready. So that was it. And before he went, and you'll like this one. Those of you over 40 will love this one, OK? You'll love this. Matty in Australia won't like this because he always says that the older ones are always having a go at the younger ones. That's not the case, Matty. I don't know where you get that from. You must stop coming out with that. Saying things like that, dear. I haven't had any go at anyone young. Why would I do that? So I said to Mick on the phone, just before you go, I hope you don't mind me asking this, but can I ask how old you are? And he said 55. I said, that's fine. I said, brilliant. I said, I'll see you a little bit later. He said, why'd you ask? I said, because I've known too many people young, round about Matty's age, who come and do a job and they don't do it properly. Now, come on, who knows that? Am I lying? No, I'm not lying, am I? Huh? So I put the phone down and he got round about, he actually got round to me about 25 to 8, so 10 minutes earlier than he said. That's all right. And he says, OK, mate, what you got to do? So I brought him up here to the Bearable studio. He said, what are you doing here? I said, I make video films and radio shows and do music things like that. He said, oh, OK. I said, when he came round, right, I actually had some material up on the wall. Now, I put that up a few days, the day after I recorded my last show, so that, for those of you watching, you don't have to look at the dreadful wall that's behind me now. Hang on a minute, I think I've got that Union Jack up the wrong way round as well. Oh, God. Oh, please don't write in. I'm fully aware the Union Jack, I think, is up the wrong way round, is it? That could... Oh, you can't win, can you? I've got a feeling that Union Jack's up the wrong way round. Oh, don't write in. I'll double check that for later. Anyway, so I put some lovely material. Just a minute. I'll go and get it. 1 minute. Because what I've got is 3 lovely bits of material here. I've got pink, I've got dark blue, and 1 minute, I've got gold. Okay. Now, this is the material. It's beautiful. It's like I don't know what it's a bit like silk, but it's not. I don't know what that's called actually. It's shiny on one side, and it's like matte on the other side. Okay. All right, shiny on one side and matte on the other side. Now, I had these on the wall. If you saw the extra YouTube video I put up last week, which I'm going to come to in a minute, then you would have seen that stuff on the wall, right? And it quite nicely covered the dreadful mess that you can see behind me at the moment with ripped paper and all that business. But just before I came into the studio to record today's show, I turned on the camera and I noticed that my face kept turning green. And I couldn't work it out. And then if I put my hand right up to the camera, it went the same colour again. It went normal colour again. And it'd be all right for 10 seconds, and then it would go green again. I couldn't work out what was doing this. And I suddenly realised it was probably the blue or the pink material that was hanging behind me on the wall, somehow reflecting the light back into the camera and doing something to it. Don't ask me what. Anyway, I must have been up here 10 minutes trying to sort out what was the problem, and in the end I just gave up and I thought, well, I'll just take the blue one down. I took the blue one down and I thought, well, you can't have half of it up and half of it down, can you? So I've taken the whole lot off again, and we've got the awful wall, at least with an upside down. I'm sure that Union Jack's upside down. I'm not 100% sure on that. Imagine that. Because if you look carefully, I don't know if you've noticed that before, but if you look carefully at a Union Jack, you know, it's like a cross, but the crosses are either, like the red bit is either up or it's down, if you see what I mean. If you look at a Union Jack, the red bit on the, is it the diagonal crosses? The red bit is not halfway between the white bits. You have a look at a Union Jack and you'll see exactly what I mean. And some people, they get ever so upset if this flag's up the wrong way. I mean, the fact that no one probably notices anyway. You know, they don't notice, makes no difference. But some people, real nationalists, they get very upset if the Union Jack. So if it is upside down, I do apologise for that. Anyway, so this bloke's come in. I said, as you can see behind us, a bit torn off the wall. He said, oh, yes. He said, right. He said, lovely bloke. His name's Mick. Really nice bloke. And he said, OK, I'll have to put some lining paper on the walls and what have you, and then paint. I said, how long will it take? He said, 2 days. OK. I said, that's perfect. I said, I need to know exactly when it will finish, because the day after, I'd like to arrange for a small carpet to go down. It's only a small room, this studio. So that's happening as well. Now, I wonder, actually, is it not a good idea to put the carpet down the day after the decorator's finished? Can anyone advise me on that? If you can, my email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I have a feeling bits of carpet are going to stick to the paint. Would I be right there? Anyway, let us know, OK? chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. So, and that was it, really. Very nice chap. and I think he's doing it the second week in April, so not too far away, about 4 weeks' time. And until then, I'm afraid you're going to have put up with that wall at the back of me, unless I try something else. Perhaps if I could just put... I mean, I don't think that the light was reflecting from the gold one. I think it's either the blue or the pink or both, and that was giving me a problem with the camera. I was looking green. I was looking ever so ill, dear. Dreadfully ill. So that's all going to happen now. Decorating date sorted. Second week, I'm sure it's the second week in April, either the first or the second week, and then he'll do it all and what have you. Now, will there be a break in my shows? I hope not. Okay, I hope not. I'm kind of hoping that everything will work to clockwork and it'll be all over and done with, and everything will be back in the studio within 4 days. Now, as you know, things don't always work out like that, but I've got my fingers crossed that it'll all go off without a hitch. And I got my 2 little gadgets, my 2 new clocks. I haven't got them in here, but I also... Oh, well, yes, I have. I've got a little clock here, a nice little radio-controlled clock. Look at that. I do quite like clocks. Little clock there. You can see the time now as well. It's not the time now, of course. It's a little battery radio-controlled thing. They're very clever. They receive a signal from, I think it's rugby here in the UK, and they have these signals all over the world on different frequencies, and the clock sets itself. You don't have to push any buttons or anything, and you get completely accurate time. I've actually got an analogue clock on the wall as well, and most of the clocks in this house now are connected to the radio thing. So that's it. But do you remember I told you a few shows ago I was getting a new piece of equipment for the studio? Well, that has arrived as well, I'm pleased to say, because the mixer that I I use to put all the sounds together, all the music and that's on its way out. The faders, it's quite old now. Faders are a bit they make a bit of noise. So I bought a new mixer. There we are, and it's quite a large thing. Quite a large mixer, lots of little buttons and bits and pieces on it. I can actually work one of these. It's quite large, if I can describe it to you. It's about, let's see, it's about 2 foot long. And I suppose it's about, let's have a look now. It's about, no, I wouldn't say it's 2 foot long. About 1.5 foot long and just under 1.5 foot wide, okay? All right, so that's it. And I'll put that down again. And it's got lots of different coloured buttons on them. They all do something. And when it comes to technical things, I'm not always the best, as you're about to hear. But when it comes to something like a mixer, anything audio, I'm pretty good at that. So that's here. At last, my gadget has arrived. It's made by Behringer, or Behringer. I can never say the word, Behringer, who do very good, high-quality audio products. And they are not over, they're very well priced, their stuff. They're a German company, although I gather all the bits and pieces are now made in China, which is fine. And really, they do, as I say, high quality audio products at a very, very reasonable price. I've got various gadgets in here. Indeed, this microphone is made by them as well. So quite pleased with that, and not overpriced actually. For what it is, it wasn't overpriced. All right. So my new clocks. What have I told you? My new clocks, my mixer. My decorating, what's the other thing? Oh, yes. Now, I did say at the beginning of the show, lots of things were going wrong at the moment. Incidentally, have I introduced myself today? I haven't, have I? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, whatever time of day it is. My name's Chris Reardon. This is United Kingdom Talk, our 3 times a week talk show. And you can email the show anytime, okay? Chris@UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. Chris@UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. Check your local station's schedule for details of the times that the show's on. And if you ever miss any of the shows, you can always go to the main United Kingdom Talk website, which you find at UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. Very simple to remember, UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. And don't worry if you tap in .com accidentally, that goes to the same place as well. I've got all the domains. I've got them all, dear. I've got them all. Anyway, another disaster last Wednesday. Some of you know I do a live radio show for another station. And as you've been hearing over the last couple of shows, we wanted to try and do it from home. I was a bit dubious about this. I wasn't sure about the technicalities of it all, but we tried it last Wednesday. What a disaster. What a total and utter disaster. It started the show, right? We were going to send it to the other studio over Skype, which I've told you, Skype is like a free internet telephone thing. It works quite well as a telephone, and I think it works quite well for audio as well, if you've got it set up right. And I really wasn't sure that I'd got it set up right. So, in this particular show, I review people's podcasts. Now, I got the job because I've been doing podcasts myself, like this one, podcasts and radio shows, and more recently in the last year, the video side of things as well. I've been doing these for quite some time. Indeed, the radio shows I've been doing since October 2005, just turning on the microphone, having a little list of few things in front of me and talking. That's how I got it. So I also have on this show 3 other people reviewing those same podcasts. So basically I play out clips of someone's podcast and then we talk about them. So I don't want to get too technical here because I know I'll lose some of you. But I had 3 people up on Skype on one computer and me up on Skype on the other. And the idea was I send the show to the other one at the other end. To cut a long story short, I could tell you all the little bits and pieces about this, but you probably won't understand a lot of it. To cut a long story short, literally as soon as we started the show, the sound was going the sound was going like that. You know when it starts breaking up and like that? That's how it was going. So I thought it was something to do with the amount of people on the line at the same time. So I quickly, unfortunately, had to cut off the other 3 reviewers, which left me sitting here on my own on a live show talking. Now, usually it's not a problem. There's actually not too much difference between doing something live or recorded. I would say you get more of a buzz doing it live. You really do, because you never know what might happen. Now, I've done radio on and off for years and years and years, and last Wednesday was the worst disaster I have ever had. So now I'm talking. One of the reviewers, incidentally, was James Dean. He helps me each and every week with it. So the studio at the other end are now chatting back to me on MSN Messenger, telling me about the problems. And I'm like, is that any better now? And they said, yes. Okay. But of course, now I'm sitting there on my own. And really, the show is set up. It's not like this show, right? Where I'm set up, I'm prepared to come and talk to you for an hour on my own. Don't need anyone else. I can talk to you for an hour, no problem. In my mind, that's not what happens on a Wednesday. So, of course, when it all went wrong, I didn't have an awful lot to fall back on. The studio came back to me and I said, it doesn't sound too bad now. Okay, fair enough. But the trouble is, every time they played something at their end, it kind of came back to me and then back again. Oh, it was a nightmare. Eventually, I got James Dean on the telephone. Now, I'm very lucky that here in the Mirable studio, I have one of those telephone units. If you've listened to the show for a long time, you will know now and again we call people up and we have a bit of a chat to them on the phone. So I was able to fall back on that. So I rung up James, got him on there, and that was cool. A little bit further into the show, they told me that they now had James picked up on their end and they would send him back to me. Okay, and, you know, I can't get my head around the technical side of it. Well, it went on, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna have to. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Anyway, we managed to get through the whole hour. We did actually manage to get through all of it without having to say, okay, let's leave it there and play some music at the other end. We did manage to complete the. Oh, what's wrong? Oh, is something going? See, is something going wrong now? What's happened now? Oh, that's that blooming loose wire again. It'll all sort out when we redo the studio, I tell you. Oh, it's just one thing, and it's been really one thing after another like that. I have to say, as I say, we got through the end of the show, and my hands were sweating like anything after that. Because, you know, it's quite a few people listen to this thing. And at the end, I rang up James and the other two, and we had a bit of a laugh about it. But I was quite pleased because the guy after me, who talks about technology and gadgets, he had a terrible time as well. For some reason, he couldn't get his equipment to work either this particular night. and I'm not pleased. I'm not happy that it happened to him as well. But nevertheless, he didn't actually manage to complete the show. He gave up at about 20 minutes to the end. So at least it wasn't just me. But it's got to be the worst ever show that I've experienced in doing. Not the worst one I've ever done, but the worst experience I've ever had at doing a show. Unbelievable. Now, as luck would have it, that same night we were trying out the video to see if it was possible to video of it. So I've actually managed to capture the entire show on video. And if you go to my YouTube site, you can watch it. It's pretty obvious which one it is. I've got... I can't say the name of the station because obviously this show goes on other stations and that's just not done. But if you look at the one, because they've all got like little pictures. Each video that I do has a little picture of me. Just look for the one with the blue, gold and pink background and Union Jack. Okay, there's a blue, gold, which is the stuff I've taken off the wall tonight. It's got a blue, pink and gold background and a Union Jack. If you look for the picture of me with those on it, you should find which one it is. Now, you can find that by going, as always, to the main United Kingdom Talk website, unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Oh, no, hang on a minute. Is that right? Is it going on there? Yes. Yes, I think it is. United Kingdom Talk. .co.uk. That's the one you want. And look for the show. That's going to be dated. I won't be able to put the same date as it happened, I don't think. Look for the show dated March the 20th. Okay? UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. So there we are. I mean, a real disaster. And I was so hoping that was going to work because I really don't want to do the 2-hour journey that it takes to go down there each week. Other options, well, we've already mentioned the ISDN one, and a couple of you lovely people have written in about that, and I'll come on to those in a moment. But after that show, I spent 2 hours sitting downstairs in the living room, or about 3 or 4 hours actually, trying to work out why it didn't work. And I think I have. I think I've worked out. I think the main problem was the fact that we were using Skype. Technical people might be able to help me with this, but the studio was sending me audio from them, i.e. phone calls, adverts and things like that. And because my computer is on the same fader, I was sending it back to them. And I'm pretty sure that's what the problem was. So I've kind of worked out what happened. And I've sent them an email telling them, look, I think we can still do it this way. So I'm waiting for them to come back. And hopefully we'll give it another go next Wednesday or tomorrow. It's tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah. Well, it is for me anyway. And we'll see how that goes. All right. So a bit of a disaster there. Never mind. Not only that. Oh, it goes on and on. I don't know where to stop, to be honest. I'll tell you what. Shall I stop there? No. I'll tell you something else. Swimming pool. Now, I'm a member of one of those private gym sports centre type things. I'm not a gym person. I don't know about you. I know lots of people that do the gym and seem to enjoy it. I can't stand it. It bores me to tears, which is odd, really, because I seem to be quite happy to jump into a swimming pool and do 54 lengths in there about 35, 40 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. I'm quite happy to be in a pool going up and down like that. But in a gym, I get so bored. Within 5 minutes, I'm bored to tears. I don't know what that's about. They've got televisions in there. They've got lots of radio channels. They got nice people to look at. I just find it so boring. Boring as hell. So I don't use the gym. So at this particular sports centre, I only use the swimming pool. Now, it's a nice place. Sometimes I use the restaurant facilities, but I really only use the swimming pool regular. And they provide towels and they have washing, what is that? That liquid shower gel and all that business. It's all provided. You don't need anything. You pay your monthly fee or your annual fee, and then that's the end of it. The only thing is the renewal letter, which I think is here somewhere actually. The renewal letter has just come through. Oh, it's just such, do you know, it's just such a blooming mess everywhere. I'm getting quite depressed about all of it, to be honest. And, you know, this is the thing. This is why I don't have stuff done in the house. It just does my brain in. Everything's waiting to be done now, and it's going to get worse before it gets better, isn't it? You know, because at some point I'm going to have to move all this gear out of the room, put that somewhere, wait for him to decorate. Where's that bit of paper? Here it is. Wait for him to decorate. Then the carpet will come down, and then the worst part of it all will probably be putting it all back in again. And people wonder why I don't like decorating. I hate it. It's just such a terrible upheaval. And people say, oh, it'll be worth it when it's finished. Will it be worth it when it's finished? I remember when I had that kitchen floor done. That was a nightmare. Oh, my God, the mess. Was it worth it? No, not really. There was nothing wrong with the old floor. I know it was a bit tatty and drab in here, but I wish I'd never started. I honestly do. I'm getting really depressed about the whole blooming thing now. So much going wrong. Yeah, I got the renewal thing. It's one of those Esportia health clubs here in the UK. I don't know if you'll remember. We might have some people in the UK who I remember. Esportia, right? Dear Mr. Reardon, I'd like to thank you for your membership over the last year. As part of your membership renewal this year, which is on the 1st of April, he says they want to offer me an on-track programme, giving me 3 separate appointments with one of our fitness consultants who will help you get more out of your workout and the club's facilities. Well, I don't do the workout. All I want to do is use the swimming pool. Now, I do remember writing to them a couple of years ago about this, the fact that I only use a pool. Can I go on some sort of other rate? And the answer is no, of course. You get 4 complimentary guest passes, which I always get, and I never use because no one ever wants to come with me. And what else? And that's it, really. If one of your guests joins the club, you will all be entitled to one of our current referral gifts, which is a couple of bottles of cheap plonk. Hardly worth the money. But there we are. But here's the thing. Annual package will be £715. Please contact my membership team prior to renewal. And that's it, really. It's gone over the £700 now, you see. And, you know, how much is that a week? 715 divided by 52. Is it 52 weeks of the year? It's 357. Oh, no, it's £35, 7.5 pence a week. Is that a week? Oh, blimey, that's even dearer than I thought. Hang on. 715 divided by, what is it again? 52. 715 divided by 52 equals £13.75 a week. Is that right? Oh, is it? Hang on, is that right? 715 divided by 52. £13.75 a week. Divide by 5, so it's... You know, when you work it out like that, it doesn't seem as much. But still, it just seems an awful lot of money to me just to use a swimming pool for a year, £715. Now, I had some other options. There's the council-run swimming pool, which is probably 2/3 of that price. But it's huge. I mean, I haven't been for 3 years, okay? I joined this other one 3 years ago. In my experience, the council-run one was often dirty. They have communal showers. That is, boys and girls sharing the same showers, which I don't agree with at all. Because you can't take your trunks off. I'm not being funny, you know. But how do you clean yourself with your trunks still on? It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. This is the last time I went. Because some bod up the top decided it would be a good idea to have everyone using the same showering facilities. It never comes so stupid. Stupid. And I wrote endless letters about this before they went ahead with it. Didn't take any notice at all. Well, they don't, do they? This is what makes me laugh about these councils and things. When they send around those leaflets, and we're thinking of doing this, what do you think? And then they just go ahead with it anyway. Oh, it just annoys me, doesn't it? So, the council one is possible. But as I say, I've always found it, when I was going, I always found it dirty. I didn't like the fact that you had to share showers with girls. It's just ridiculous. I mean, what's the point? What's the point in having a shower with your trunks on? And not only that, but the water was always cold. Never once did I put my toe in that water and it was warm. It was always cold. I have to say, the one I belong to is sportier. In a year, it might be cold 5 times. It's never cold in there. Very, very rarely cold. So that's that. Size-wise, the council-run one and the sportier one are the same size. One other option is there is a hotel up the road. Now, they have a place called the Living Well, which again is like a much smaller gym and a smaller swimming pool. Now, the swimming pool in that one is only 17 metres, okay? The one I'm using at the moment is, I think, 25 metres. Now, would it annoy me to have to keep turning round, you see, to make the length of the pool longer than it really is? Do you see what I'm saying? So if I do 54 lengths at the swimming pool I'm at now, I'll probably have to do 70 lengths in the little hotel one. But it does look very clean and nice. It's just very difficult to know what to do, really. It's a lot of... I just think that's a lot of money to use a swimming pool for a year, £715. Tell me what you think. I've spoken to a couple of people, and basically they've said stop moaning and pay it. And another one brought up the subject, but is it keeping you fit? Well, I suppose it is. I mean, the weight, I'm afraid, is still going up at the moment. 13 stone 7 this morning. Don't ask me what's going on there, because I'm not quite sure. I can't be anything wrong with me if my weight is going up like this. Honestly, it is 13 stone 7 now, and I'm really... That's getting me down as well. Oh, God. These things are sent to test us. But is the swimming keeping me fit? Well, of course it is. You know, just because you're a bit overweight doesn't mean you're not fit. How many lengths in a swimming pool can you do? I do 54 and I don't stop. It's good, isn't it? And I don't want to lose that. That's the thing. Maybe I should just go down the council one just once and see how it is now, see if it's changed at all. I don't know. I could go one afternoon, it won't hurt. It only cost me about £6 to do that. I don't know. Send us an email, tell me what you think. It's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. 13 stone 7. I'm sure half the problem is that my sister keeps selling me those chocolate marshmallows. I think it's not sweets, because I don't eat sweets. It's bread. Crisps, hardly touch those. Can't remember the last time I had a bag of crisps. Bread. It's got to be bread. What have I had today? And I'll tell you what else I've started having. Fresh oranges. I buy a pack of oranges and I squeeze them. One of those things, you know, one of those things what stick up, the plastic things, and you put the orange on the top and you like go round and round and the juice comes out. I've started having that. Do you think that could be anything to do with it? There's about 3 oranges. I use 3 oranges in a glass, and that fills up a glass with orange juice. Huh? Could it be anything to do with that? I don't know. If you think it is, let me know. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I'm sorry to be so depressing today, but I'm very down at the moment. Very down with all these things going wrong around me and everything. Oh, dear. I wish I had someone to take control of it all. Can you deal with that decorating and all? All right, leave it to me. Wish I had someone to take control of this. It's all down to when you're on your own. It's all down to you, isn't it? There's no one to like fall back on. Oh well. Right, let's do some emails then. First of all, we have a birthday just gone. Yes, Austin. Hello, Austin, who's in Portland, Oregon. And we need to sing him happy birthday because he is now 30 years old. It's actually just passed. It was on Friday. You ready, guys? Here we go. Sing along now. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Austin. Happy birthday to you. There we are, sir. Happy birthday, Austin. Who writes? It will be my birthday on Friday the 20th. I'll be 30. Still young. Still young, Austin. 30. What was my favourite age? My favourite age was 32 to 40. That was the favourite age that I've had. Honestly, 32 to 40, I think is a brilliant time, and you're just coming up to that now. Austin says, I trust you'll take care printing this time, as it's a personal birthday present to me. Yeah, do you remember the last show? Was it last Thursday? I think it was. I can't remember when the show was. 2 shows ago, I think it was, when I mentioned that Austin had sent in an email, and unfortunately, in my quest to save the planet and save paper, I turn the paper over. So if it's printed on one side, I'll turn over and print the other side. But of course, you've got to be careful where you put it in the printer. Otherwise, it prints on the same side and then you can't read a damn thing. It's all very impossible, really. So there we are. Happy birthday, Austin. I hope you had a good time. He says, I've recruited a new listener. A friend of mine was looking for some new podcasts to listen to, so I naturally recommended you. She's called Andrea. Is it Andrea or Andrea? Andria. Andrea, I think it is. So let's make her welcome and say hello. Hello, Andrea. Andrea. Oh, it's Andrea, isn't it? Silly fool I am. You see, the mind is going, dear. Oh, God, the noises have started. This is what happens when I start getting stressed out. The noises come even worse. It's terrible. Austin says, Oi, Chris. I've written in a few times before, but I'm afraid I can't tell you who I am at the time. Because I have become... Imagine suspenseful music here. Have we got any suspenseful music? Just a minute. Let me see if I've got anything there. Possibly not. Oh, hang on, I know. We could have the Carmen opera thing, I think. I think it's that, you know. Just a minute now, just a minute. Suspense music. I've got evil laughter. Is that any good? Is this any good? Just a minute. Is this any good? No. Suspenseful laughter. Funeral music? We got funeral... No. Oh, hang on. Nightmare on Alfred Street. Let's try this. Let's try this one. Let's try this. Yep, that'll do, that'll do. Right, we'll read that bit again. Now, what was that one we just played? What was it? Nightmare on Elm Street. Just a minute, just a minute. Here we are. Right, we'll read it again then. I can't actually hear that music very well. I'm going to just get my little speakers there. That's it. Right. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go, here we go. Oi, Chris, over here. I have written in a few times before, but I'm afraid I can't tell you who I am this time because I have become a secret listener. In the past, I have always listened to your show in the open with my girlfriend and my cat, whose names I cannot now divulge. So it was certainly no secret to anyone. It wasn't until recently that I started having to listen to your show covertly. I thought you might be interested to hear how that happened. It all started last summer when I got a new job. I now work in a very small office that I share with a co-worker who is constantly eating. I am normally very sensitive to the sounds people make when they eat. It drives me right mad, and I don't know why. Does it you? I don't know. I don't think I know any noisy eaters. But you see, Austin, when you're living on your own, there isn't anyone to eat with anyway. So it's only me chomping away. I don't know if am I a noisy eater? What I'll have to do is in the future bring some sandwiches or something in and you can judge for yourself. I'll eat sandwiches while I'm doing the show. Okay? He says, there are two things making matters worse. First, the office is very quiet. Second, my co-worker doesn't just eat. He eats loudly, often chewing with his mouth open. Do you mean like this? Is that what you mean? I'm sure nobody enjoys a noisy eater, but I suspect it bothers me more than most people. I think you're right, Austin. I've never really noticed anyone eating. It wasn't, of course, now that I've said that, I'll probably notice everyone that is eating around me. I tell you what does offend me. Although I hardly ever get on buses and trains anymore, when someone brings a smelly old kebab onto a train or a plane or a bus, isn't that just awful? Oh God! And the entire bus stinks of someone's kebab, and they sit there munching away. And more often than not, they then have the audacity to leave the wrappers on the seat as they leave the blooming bus. Aren't they just vile, horrible, in the gutter type people, aren't they? They just got no niceness about them or caring what other people might think of seeing a piece of paper left on a bus seat covered in tomato sauces and bits of onions and God knows what else. It's just no thinking about other people at all. No consideration, that's the word. I can't... Why is that? And don't you think that's got a lot worse recently in the last, 10 years? People have no consideration for other people. I wonder how many of you, unfortunately, live next to someone or above or below someone who makes noise. Oh, that must be the worst. I mean, at least if you're on a bus with a kebab wrapper next to me, you can get off, you're going to get off the bus at some point. What's it like when you live next to someone who has either loud music or makes some sort of loud noise all the time? Must be the worst thing ever. If you do and you want to tell me about it, please feel free to do so. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Of course, you could get them back. What I suggest you do is download a load of my shows, hours worth. Choose the worst ones, of course. The ones that might have had you fast forwarding. And don't tell me you don't, because I know some of you do. You fast forward occasionally, don't you? Yes. Don't you pretend to me that you don't. I want a list of people. I want a list of people who fast forward my shows. Come on, who is it? Is it you? I'll find out, so you might as well admit it now. Anyway, download a load of my shows, put them on your MP3 player, plug it into your amplifier, turn it full up and get your own back and leave the house. And leave it on all night. In fact, make this one of those shows. Because if you're a neighbour at the moment, listening through your walls to this show, then the reason you can hear this show is because the person who's left this playing on their Wi-Fi is fed up to the back teeth of you making so much blooming noise with yours. He or she is getting their own back tonight. So if you kindly turn yours down, in future this won't happen. If not, you may be getting a little treat to one of my shows or more every single night of the week until you start having consideration to the person who's had to take this action. All right, I'm on your side, you see. We'll get them back. We will get them back together. Yes. Austin says, I'm sure nobody enjoys a noisy eater. But I suspect it bothers me more than most people. It wasn't long before I realised that I would have to find a solution to this silly but very real problem. Here's what I came up with. I could, A, ask him politely if he'd agree to eat elsewhere. B, bring earplugs to work every day. C, bring my own snacks and eat them even more loudly. D, quit and go and work somewhere else. Or E, take James Dean's suggestions and put a security sticker under his shoe. Then, when I see him the next day, say, all right, Fred, set off any alarms recently, you fat git. Well, I have to say I'd probably do C, bring my own snacks and eat them even more loudly, okay? Austin goes on to say, although maybe that last one won't work because his name isn't Fred and is not fat. You could have a point there. He goes on, obviously, the only sane option on my list was to ask him politely. The trouble is, it's hard to bring up a subject like that without the other person becoming defensive. So I spent a few days thinking about what to say. In the meantime, I bought in earplugs. When the subject finally came up, it was because he noticed that I had earplugs in and had asked me why. I told him that it was because I was easily distracted by the sounds of eating. He simply said, oh, and didn't eat at his desk for the rest of the day. The next morning, he had forgotten all about it and was back to eating again. I brought it up just once more after that, with the same result. He soon forgot again. I don't think he's being purposely rude. I noticed he's forgetful about a lot of things. So I kept the earplugs handy, hastily putting them in every time I saw him open the second drawer on the left of his desk, which I had learnt was where he kept his snacks. Then I had a brilliant idea while listening to one of your shows on my iPod. I could use earbuds. I have a very good pair of earbuds that blocks out most other noise, which I now bring to work with me. I am allowed to listen to my iPod while at work, so whenever he eats, I just pop in the earbuds and turn you up a bit. Interesting you say about your earbuds there. I do know you can now buy noise cancelling earphones, can't you? I'm not quite sure. I don't know how they work. They've got some sort of electronics inside them so that any noise around you is blotted out somehow. I'm not quite sure how that works. Has anyone got a pair of those? Apparently, a lot of people buy them for airplanes, although I've never really had any problem hearing stuff on a plane going on around me. I don't know about you. Anyone got a pair of those noise-cancelling earphones? And how much were they? Let us know. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is the email address. Austin says, the only problem is that you only talk for an hour 3 times a week. And I work for 8 hours 5 times a week. Are you suggesting that I should do a daily show of 8 hours? Do you reckon I could do that? The trouble is, Austin, I don't think I could talk for 8 hours non-stop without having a cup of tea and a sandwich next to me, and that kind of would start defeating the object, because I'd pick up the sandwich and start eating again, wouldn't I? And of course we'd have the bag of crisps. Even worse. Isn't it? No, I don't think I could do an 8-hour show, not 5 times a week. It's a nice idea, though. Thankfully, though, he only eats about as much as you talk, so it's been a workable arrangement so far. Meanwhile, of course, he has to sit there wondering what it is I'm laughing and talking to myself about when he eats. And do you think I'd tell him? Absolutely not. Our secret. Yeah, don't tell him. Don't tell him. I mean, he seems to be able to have his fun eating and annoying you, so why not have your fun, now and again, sniggering? I tell you what, Austin, make it even worse, right? When I say something funny, or you're amused by something I've said, look over at him and then start sniggering, and he'll start to think that you're laughing at him. Who's got the upper hand now? Aren't we naughty? Stop it, don't laugh. Do it now, go on, look up. Look up from your desk, and now snigger. Do a Muttley one. Remember Muttley from Dastardly and Muttley? Wacky races. Stop the pigeon, 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 stop that pigeon. Ow! Nab him, grab him, nab him, grab him, stop that pigeon now. Da 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 da. Love it. Cheers again, and thanks for the wonderful shows. As you can see, they're doing me a great service, except when you eat chocolate marshmallows with a microphone on. Well, I had the last one earlier today, actually, after breakfast. Hopefully, now that I finish those chocolate marshmallows, the weight will start coming down. Remember what I told you? 13 stone 7 this morning. Okay? Oh, do you want to know what that is in pounds, Americans? Oh, you are awkward. You really are. 1 minute, hang on. 14, so well, it's 14 pounds to a stone. So 14 times 13 plus 7. 189 pounds, okay? We're 189 pounds at the moment. We'll see what we are on the next show, because there's no more chocolate marshmallows now. No more chocolate, no more crisps. Bread? I try with the bread. Bread's the hardest thing to give out of all of them, isn't it? Isn't it funny? Which is the worst, you think? Crisps, chocolate or bread? Not sure. I think it's probably the crisps, actually, because they're fried, aren't they? Don't know. Anyone know? Have we got any dietitians watching at the moment? Crisps, chocolate or bread? Which is the worst? Chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Give Joy and Axon a great big wolf whistle from us in Portland. I can't do them whistles. We wouldn't dare say it in your dreams to you, Joy. Do you remember that story she told us? We're going to have her on the phone soon as well. From Secret Agent Austin in Portland, Oregon, USA. He says, P.S. Uh-oh, here comes the crisps. Quickly, on to the next email. Oh, yep, no gaps, no gaps. Well, it's nearly time to go, actually. Have we got time for another one? We might have, actually. Oh, from Carmel. Hello, Carmel. How are you? She wants to say, thank you very much for singing to Dave's birthday greeting. It was lovely. Thanks again from Carmel. That's all right, my love? All right, if you have a birthday, you want me to sing happy birthday to someone, or indeed yourself, then get it in. If you can give us like a couple of weeks' notice so I can sort it out, okay, within this show. Usual email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Finally, from Matty in Tasmania, who says, my work experience at the cinema. It's not outside, my friend. It's an indoor cinema. Stadium seating, 2-story high screen. You must have tall chairs to see that. And you know those arm things that has seats that they have on the side of the seats? You can take them off so you can go all lovey-dovey with someone. Take Joy to the movies, your new lovey-dovey. Thank you, Matthew. She won't come to the cinema with me. I'm too old for her. That's it for the show today. We didn't quite get round to those other bits and pieces, did we? Never mind, we'll do them on the next show. The email address, once again, is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Thanks for watching or listening. I'll see you on the next show. Bye-bye.